They're not shopping. They said they're not shopping, but they're clearly shopping, and that is a good way to start this episode of the podcast. Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 61 of the Game Junction podcast, and we are apparently shopping on QVC right now because nobody knew it still existed and was still a thing, but it is. Use code Holiday20. This is not a sponsored video, unfortunately, but maybe they'll see this
Not
and
yet.
get a lot of orders or something. So, how's everybody doing
There
today?
you go. Good.
I'm doing good. Like I just threw a bunch of money away with the past couple of years.
Tell me. I bought a Furby today. Who knew? Who would have known?
The Millennium Furby, though, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Not that anybody on here would care about this particularly, but my sister had so they did that Millennium thing, 2000 thing for tons of toy lines, right? And one of them was
Yeah.
Barbie because Barbie had everything, and my sister had this Barbie but never opened it up when she got it, and we still got it today. I gave it to my daughter, and it's been sort of passed down, so she's never opened it either, and I'm hoping we can keep it as a thing to keep passing down. It doesn't really have any value because everybody that got it didn't open up theirs either. That was like around the time when people knew things were, having value. So like, oh, this is going to be worth a lot of money. Let's not open it. And they did the same thing with cards and, comic books and all that stuff. None of those comics from that time are worth anything either. Same with all the sports cards, really. Like, there's a select few. Same with comics. There's a select few, but very few of those have any value. So, yeah.
Wait, are you saying my Beanie Baby collection's tanking?
I'm sorry, man.
It's not
I'm
worth
sorry.
anything?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you. No, I will tell you this though. I do actually have a Beanie Baby that has value. It is a print air. It was one of the McDonald's ones, and it has a print air on it. And you can check the last sold listings on it, and they're like $120. So it's got a little bit of value. Now, I've had mine listed for sale for a long time, at a low price compared. I don't know why it hasn't sold. Maybe I need to update the listing. I haven't bothered to check, but it does have a little value, so there's some out there. But anyway, we'll get on with the show. Of course, we got Craig back with us this week. How's it going, man?
Oh, going all right. Just another week. I mean, like we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, so that's where my brain's been at for a lot of it.
Yeah, yeah, I feel it. We're prepping for all the holiday stuff too, and it's a crazy time. Chase, how's everything going for you, man?
Getting better. Getting better. Probably gonna call into work tomorrow for sick, but maybe I'll be better by tomorrow morning and play some actual games instead of sleeping around the house all weekend. But I did get some cool game pickups, so I'm excited to at least open them and look at them.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you the TV, the Mickey Mouse TV you got there in the background. I
yeah.
really had an epic fail this past week. So one popped up in the box. It was opened in the box though with the
Oh.
DVD player for $100. Right?
Wow.
$100 with the box. The box looked nice. And I mean, these
I'd buy
things
that.
just, yeah, well, it unfortunately, I had messaged the lady. I was going to get it the next day. Slipped my mind. She didn't message me. So I got the message that it sold. And I'm like, oh my God. I did not. Because everybody knows I'm going after all those. And that's really unfortunate because you usually don't see the DVD player with it. And you definitely don't see the box. So.
Right.
I know. Dang, I've thought about getting that one myself,
It's,
but I think I've changed my mind to go for a widescreen CRT if I can find one.
there you go. I see those pop up quite often. But you do see them popping up for some price tags now, unfortunately. But I saw one pop up again probably about a week ago. One of the FS models. Forget if it was like the 110 or the 120. But yeah, those are cool. was really cool. So
I picked up a couple
So
of
I
them
don't
recently. Just
the
little
widescreens
CRTs in
or
general.
oh yeah,
Oh,
oh yeah.
just no. I have two Trinitrons downstairs in the garage, but one of them I don't know if it's the 30. It's got to be one of the bigger ones. Because I can't carry it upstairs by myself. I tried, and I don't easily give up, but I tried and put a hole in the wall at the edge of the stairs. So and it's heavier than the PlayStation kiosk and the Xbox One kiosk right there.
yeah.
So it's in the garage. It's got its own stand. But I did pick up. This is one that's actually exactly like one from my childhood, and it's got a little VCR built into it, but it works.
I got one right behind me.
Oh yeah, I love them. My dad actually had one of those in his Explorer, and he put it on top of the center console, and I sat in the back and played Nintendo 64 and PlayStation because on road trips. Because my parents were split up, military. Parents split up a lot of road trips, so that was Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, all the way to PlayStation 2 memories on that thing. So
That's awesome, man. I
yeah. So when I saw it, I had to buy it. I was like, Dad. I sent a picture to my dad. I was like, Dad, we're doing it.
You guys want to know a really crazy fact? So, sorry, I'm trying to multitask here, but I had a Trinitron as my main TV and only TV all the way up to the launch of the Wii U. It wasn't until probably 3 or 4 days after I got the Wii U, because I had no other way to play it, that I actually got like an LCD TV. But the Trinitron worked great, man, especially for the Wii. Like, the PS3 360 were still, given the AV cables. I use component cables, so it wasn't a huge jump, honestly. And like playing Call of Duty, dude, Call of Duty component cables on a Trinitron, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yep.
Like literally, it doesn't. There's no better way to play because that refresh rate is like, there is
Honestly,
no refresh rate.
that's honestly why I'm looking for a widescreen
Yeah.
CRTV, just primarily for PS2 because like half the library supports widescreen. Same with GameCube, OG Xbox, and then the 360 and PS3. They, in my opinion, look better on a widescreen
100%.
CRTV, just
100%.
because of the way things have aged. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
conversation we can have all night long.
Oh my God!
That caught me off guard. It tricked me.
Yeah, I had to throw one of those in there. I haven't done that in a long time. But yeah, that's true fact. So I would say the only reason, because widescreen CRTs aren't necessarily good for like 16 bit games, and it's not good for a lot of stuff under that generation. But PS3 and 360, it is the best way to play those games. Definitely. But for me, I had one for a long time. They are massive space hogs. So for one gen
Yeah.
that I don't get to play, a ton, I couldn't justify owning one anymore. But I mean, if you've got the space, like 100% is the best way to play those. There's no doubt about that. Just absolutely amazing on those. But we will go ahead, and I was trying to up. Craig, you're still a little low on my end. I've got my volume maxed out, my headset maxed out. But
Yeah, I don't know what's going on this weekend.
yeah, I'm not sure. It'll be all right. But we'll go ahead and get started with some news that we got going on, things that happened this week. Pretty big week. We started off the week thinking that there wasn't much going on, but really, even outside of what we added in the notes, because unfortunately I didn't get to add anything else today, quite a bit started to happen. And one thing we don't have mentioned in here, which I'll try to pull up, is that we had an Indie Direct, Nintendo Indie Direct. So that happened. Nothing super notable that I'm aware of, but I will double check here in a few. But the biggest thing, obviously, is the Game Awards going on, and everybody talking about Hogwarts Legacy getting snubbed, and all the craziness on there. Craig, you got any thoughts on everything going on with that?
So even though I'm not an Xbox guy, a lot of people noticed Starfield got snubbed. Like which is kind of a shame, just because that game deserves it has its audience like every game, but like that's the one I think I've seen blow up on my social media the most. Like out of anything, like I
Yeah.
know people are loving Spider-Man, but like everybody's still talking about Starfield.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think even for me, like that game just had massive hype, right? Like I haven't seen hype like that
Yeah.
in a very long time. The hype for Starfield was real. Yeah, I
Well,
was.
I'm pulling it up now, but like Alan Wake 2, like really? Like I think looking at it, it was Alan
Right.
Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, which Baldur's Gate 3 I think is one of those up there, as I would agree. Spider-Man 2, I would probably say meh. Resident Evil 4, I haven't played it, so I really don't have an opinion. Mario Wonder, as much as I love Mario, I don't think that would win Game of the Year. And Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I could see you leaning, but for me personally, and I know some people are gonna be like hate me for this, it didn't do enough to be as innovative. It had a lot of talk because of the crafting system, but it felt more the same as Breath of the Wild. Like when I really got into the core of it, and like once you really like learn, oh hey, I can just cheat the system by doing the air bike. At the end of the day, it's like there wasn't enough like lasting power for me.
So what I think might be interesting actually for the show, because I've got it pulled up as well. We should all vote and discuss sort of our votes and where we're kind of at with that. So it's hard because I've seen a lot of discourse and I looked in all the things that we're talking about here, and especially this. You can't miss this if you follow gaming news at all. So people's takes on Resident Evil 4 being in there. I have my own opinion. I think as a remake and as a new game that I think it deserves to have the shot. A lot of people don't feel that way. They feel like a remake, it's not a remaster, it's a remake, but they feel like remakes still should not be allowed to be in there, which to me is kind of mind blowing because a remake can be an entirely different type of game. Although this isn't necessarily that, it's still a new game. It's not taking the old engine. This is built from the ground up. But I guess I
Yeah,
understand that if it was the Last of Us remake, which was like as straightforward of a remake, or even if you want to even call it a remake, that
yeah.
I
Part
get.
2 is
Um,
announced.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing we got to talk about because that's, yeah. Let's give you a remaster and a remake all within the span of 8 years. Ah, goodness. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm signing in here to vote myself, but Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I think that it deserves to have a shot. That my opinion, but do I think that this is Game of the Year potential? Not necessarily. In comparison to the games that we've gotten this year, this is I've got a video coming out talking about this because it's just crazy to me. But I think 2023 is the biggest year of gaming since like 1998 or 2003. Those were other big years in gaming. This was a massive year
right.
for gaming. I just haven't seen it in a very
20,
long time.
2017 was another huge year that a lot of people kind of overlooked just
2003.
because 2017.
Oh,
That was the year we
yeah,
had the Switch launch, which got Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, plus we also got Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. Like that was a huge year.
it was. Yeah, it was. It was. Very big year in gaming. This year has just been crazy because if you go below the surface, like there's still a ton of other stuff. There's a ton of B tier games, if you want to call it that, that aren't
Hmm.
the AAA games, which is where I'm at for the most part. A lot of the games that I love the most usually tend to be that. If you're looking at like just as an example, Nintendo, outside of Super Mario Brothers Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom, there's been a ton of other stuff too with them for
Yeah.
Switch, and it's like the final Switch year. Um, I mean, you had that WarioWare come out, which whatever, it's WarioWare, but Metroid Prime Remaster and that Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is going to be coming out, and Super Mario RPG remake, and it's just so much gaming. So much so that I can't
Well,
keep up.
well, and like and here's what I hate about doing the Game Awards this early at the end of the year,
Yeah.
because last year we had Crisis Core Reunion release,
Yes.
and
Yep.
that was like right after the game. And there was another one. I think I just did a video on this, and I'm already blanking on what it was. But there was like 2 games in our like remasters of 2023 that
Yeah.
came out technically in December of 2022, and it's like it's you got so many other games like Mario RPG, Star Ocean Second Story
Yep.
are like that are 10 out of 10 games that aren't even going to get considered, and they're definitely not even going to get considered next year.
Right.
So
They
like,
they
why don't
won't
we
even
just do the
talk.
Game
They
Awards?
won't be talked about because they're forgotten.
Yeah, just do it in January. Like,
I agree
I
with
agree.
you. I agree with that. Chase, what's
I'm
your
really
take on all
surprised.
this?
I'm really surprised that Alan Wake was on there too. When you said that, I was like, oh my god. But I've never played Alan Wake, to be fair, any of it, and I don't know anything about it. I guess when it comes to modern stuff, I'd be more of the most casual you can find. But I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm really mind blown. Like, even if Starfield isn't the highest rated game, the controversy, the eyes on it, the numbers it was doing, I just don't see how it wasn't even in the rankings of it. And I don't have a experience playing it. Just a lot of my friends playing it, so we're trying it. You know, I'm just surprised, but good for Alan Wake, I guess. You know, that's good. I know that communities. I know a lot of the big content creators have spoke about it in the past and are very fond of it. But it's not that I didn't give it a chance. I just haven't had that, I guess, interest yet, but or the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like I was just looking at some other things, other games, that came out this year, and one that nobody talks about. Like I'm not even caught up or like a major fan of the franchise, but like One Piece Odyssey was a phenomenal RPG that came out this year. No discussion or discourse on that whatsoever. And again, like I am as casual of a One Piece viewer or fan as there can be. I think it's a cool franchise, but I wanted to play that because it looked cool, and it is. It's super rad. Hi-Fi Rush is in Game of the Year nomination. Is that right?
I think so.
I believe
not
so.
not in the Game of the Year.
I feel like it was, but if it's not, that's another interesting, pretty good game
It
that.
might be in one of the categories.
Yeah, it might be indie. I can't remember. I thought I saw that it was. I could be totally wrong though.
Best art direction, best score and music, which I haven't even gotten to play the game. Audio design is up for it.
I haven't yet either
So I
myself,
mean,
but
it's part of the conversation, just not Game of the Year.
yeah, yeah. I was trying to pull up the full list here, but yeah, I can't speak on Alan Wake 2 because I haven't got to play it yet. That is one that I'll grab when I can grab it for like $30. But I really like the first game and I like the franchise. Period. I think it's great, and I'm hearing really good things, and it's a Remedy game, so I don't know. Like maybe it is deserving. Like I'm not entirely sure. Baldur's Gate 3 definitely. Like that's a really really good game. I was super excited about that. I wanted it to be good, but I did not expect much. So I came in that pretty surprised. But yeah, I'm interested to see what like the voting would be for like Super Mario Brothers Wonder, like realistically, because it looks like there's also for best narrative we've got Cyberpunk 2077, the DLC Phantom Liberty. I guess it's not really just straight DLC. Also Final Fantasy 16 is in for best narrative. We've got for best game direction, all the same games, it looks like. Well, Spider Man 2's in there for game direction. And then
I'm
for
probably ahead of you, but best sim and strategy, it's 3 out of the 5 are Nintendo games.
best art direction, Hi-Fi Rush is in there, and Lies of P, which I've heard great things about Lies of P. I've not got to play that yet, but my buddy's obsessed. I'm not necessarily good at Souls games, so I guess it's that sort of game. But yeah, I mean, it looks like there's some other games in here. I wonder what was up for indie. Score and music, same games. Audio direction, Hi-Fi Rush is in for that too. So Dead Space Remake is in for best audio design. Yeah, so some of the other categories that people don't care about as much. There are other games in there, but yeah, it's interesting. I'm very interested to see on that, and then actually going to be streaming that live. Mark's going to be hopping in with that, so I'm going to have a video coming out before. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, I'm game of the year is a tough thing for me because I've never been the biggest fan of it. It used to be very, very, very filled with ads. It used to be a major issue. I mean, every single thing was an ad break or a mention of an ad or sponsor. Like the whole entire thing, man. It used to be very hard to watch. It's gotten better, so I've given it more respect, and I think that Jeff Keighley has the right intentions and is doing potentially the right things, but it's neither here or there. So we've got Modern Warfare 3 players beg for OP Groot skin to get removed. What's the deal on this one?
Oh my god.
So I saw this article and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. So there's a skin where you're basically like this giant walking tree that looks like Groot, but it's not Groot, and it's taller than your average PC. And so because of that, like you have to readjust your aim. So instead of like having your sights like straight neutral, you have to aim up, and people are getting pissed off with it.
Interesting.
But it's one of those skins you have to purchase, so that's what
Mhm.
makes it even more frustrating.
So would that give an advantage or disadvantage? Would you say?
It technically gives an advantage if you're going head to head, because if you do shot. So this is just like me remembering Call of Duty from my obsession with Black Ops. Like if you're doing shotguns, you have more of a wide scatter and straightforward.
Yeah,
But if you're doing like SMGs, kind of like Halo, like it travels up.
sure.
Well, if you're going for headshots and sniper shots, you have to like retrain everything as far as like quick shotting, quick scoping, everything. And so that's where people are getting ticked off about it, because now you have a character that's or a skin that's literally made it so much more taller than all the other average players that it's like GoldenEye with no odd job. It's
Yeah.
literally like what it.
I figured it would be a disadvantage, just being a bigger target. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, that's a good point too. Yeah, it's hard to
I don't know.
say. I'm by no means
But I haven't played it.
yeah, I haven't
I
played
won't. I
played
mean, I
it
don't
yet
feel like playing it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, so my dad, for some reason, for the past like 5 years, he always grab one game, and it's always Call of Duty. So I just like never buy it at launch, and always end up. I didn't even play Vanguard really. I think I put it in one time. Um, I really like
Saying
Cold
Trash
War.
Card.
What?
Yep. I said, yeah, that's Vanguard. I mean, Trash Card. I mean, yeah, Call of Duty Vanguard.
It's like the
I played
only
it for
one
about
I haven't
20
played at
minutes.
all. Like I just haven't
I
played
played
it.
it for 20 minutes after I bought it.
Yeah.
Day two, not day one, but day two or whatever of it releasing. And I went back to Black Ops Cold War, and
Yeah. Look, I only
I
play
still play
zombies.
Cold War.
So,
I only play really Nuketown,
yeah.
and I've probably got a few hundred friends on play. I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely over 100. Is what it seems like. Friends I've been playing with on PlayStation for
Yeah.
several years,
Mm-hmm.
and when I open up Call of Duty, it's kind of sad because I mean I see more players.
A lot of them
I guess
haven't been
the
logged
only
in
one
in
I've seen that.
forever.
Yeah, and then more of them show playing online on Black Ops Cold War after the first second week of the newest Call of Duty releasing.
Yeah.
So what is that? Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, now Modern Warfare 3. Cold War came out in 2020, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the last one I really, really played. And it was only zombies.
Same.
Only
Oh, okay.
zombies.
See,
I can't get into the multiplayer anymore. I haven't been able to for a long time. But that Cold War zombies, man, that brought me back to like World at War and like Black Ops 2. Dude, the zombies mode on Cold War is 10 out of 10. So
The game's still selling for almost full retail price in several stores.
probably because
I was surprised.
Yeah, people are still buying
People-
it at that. I bet they're like, oh, this new one's trash. Let me try out this other one. I need a COD to play. Yeah,
I see markdown copies of Modern Warfare 2. Definitely Vanguard are marked down to like $19.99 and stuff like that. It's like it makes me not want to ever buy another Call of Duty brand new day one ever again. But that's a little pessimistic, but that's just how I feel.
Well,
But I feel like I got
about 10
burnt
years
after
it'll be Xbox
Vanguard.
only.
Yeah, it won't be long. Won't be long.
yeah, no doubt. So it looks like we also got Hades is joining the best free game library nobody uses, which is
Yeah.
Netflix. What's the context on this one?
So if you have Netflix and so I've used this for a few games.
Okay.
Hold on, I actually have a couple of them downloaded. Like Sonic Prime or Sonic Rush was one of them, which it's like, oh, whatever. That game's been out for freaking ever. But there's been some like really sweet indies that have hit it where oh goodness, now my phone's loading. So like Dead Cells, Asphalt Extreme if you're into racing,
Asphalt is
Into the
on there?
Breach. Which one?
Asphalt's on
Asphalt,
everything,
Asphalt
man.
Extreme.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
it
on
really
everything.
is.
But I mean, like for a racing mobile game,
Yeah.
I actually get sucked into that at least once a year. Dead Cells, if you're into Dead Cells, Into the Breach, which if you're into like tactical RPGs, like is phenomenal as an indie game. But thing is, like, not very many people actually use the service. Like,
Yeah.
Shredder's Revenge was on there for the longest time. I think it's still on there. But yeah, Hades is coming to it now, and I saw that. I was like,
Shredder's Revenge
that's
is on there.
hilarious.
Wow.
yeah, like there's so many like A tier indies that have come out that have hit the Netflix like free mobile download. And it makes
So-
me just like honestly just want to grab like one of those screen clips
Yeah.
and plug or a Xbox One or
Yeah.
Xbox controller to it. And
How do
like,
you
yeah,
access it?
so you literally just open the Netflix app, and I'm gonna do this real time, so that way you guys.
I want to do it too.
Okay, so yeah, like you just open the Netflix app,
Okay, I'm doing this. Yeah.
and as soon as I log in and pray that my wife and kids aren't on it, 'cause we're cheap, we pay for two. There's a tab on the bottom that says games.
Okay. I actually
like,
don't
there's some
even
old
have
stuff
the
on
app
there.
downloaded. I've never watched it on my phone.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so there's some old stuff on there like World of Goo. I mean, you got like Football Manager, like, and then of course like the Netflix show games. Moonlighter's on there, so if you haven't played Moonlighter, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon's on there. There's like some actually like really good indies. Samurai Showdown's on there.
no way. Is
So
it
you're
really?
going-
Yeah, Samurai Showdown's
I don't
on
even
there.
know my login right now, so I'll have to do it later. But that's
There
okay.
you
You
go.
sold me. You sold me.
Tomb Raider Reloaded if you're a Tomb Raider fan. Let's see. There was
Reloaded.
like some
What? I
really
didn't know about this.
top tier. Yeah. Kentucky Route Zero if you haven't played that.
Very good game.
Oxenfree 1 and 2. Like there's like legit indies that I enjoyed either on PC or were on my radar that I completely missed that are now on Netflix's app for you to download to your mobile phone.
That's amazing.
Okay, so
And Hades is going to be one of them.
you went to your app and you said you went to the bottom tab.
There's a bottom tab that says games. So I don't know if it's on iOS, but it's for sure on Android.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not seeing it. I'll have to look into that. But you definitely got my interest peaked. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
so
have
like
to check
I'm,
that out.
I'm literally about to Amazon a phone clip now for my because I have Xbox One controllers that are kind of useless to me now. Like
Yeah.
if I ever play on PC, I use them. But it's like
yeah,
oh
I think
yeah,
I have a
Xbox One
backbone I
controllers,
never
really good.
used before.
There you go.
I
So
don't-
now if you have like a backbone or like a 360 or an Xbox, I want to say 360 so bad because we were talking about it pre-show.
You're good.
But yeah, like if you have just a controller or a backbone or something like that laying
Yeah.
around, like it's absolutely worth it just to have that library for
Wow.
free.
Well, that's a viable
Yeah, I've
option
never
for people that
opened
might
it.
not know about
Okay,
it.
not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily free. You still got to pay for Netflix, but
Yeah.
like kind of adds some value to it.
Do you? You just get, bum off your friends, right?
Yeah,
If
there's
you have
nothing
friends,
else
that
Yeah.
is, right? You gotta have friends first.
Yeah. I think we have a family plan, but I don't really watch Netflix unless it's with Samantha. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really watch Netflix either myself, but
I don't
that's
know. It's
really
like
cool.
I've got so many options to watch stuff. I just always
It's one
fall
of those
back on the
things, right?
familiar
Like
thing.
you have too
Yeah.
many games and you don't know what to play, and then you just sit there staring at the game
Yep.
trying to figure out what to play instead of playing a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go back to New Cap 20 Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. 18.
Man.
I think I'm almost at 1,900 hours on that game, and it's like that's like a freaking. It's like a job as much time as I put
You're
into
a
it.
hardcore gamer.
Nah, just really liked it. I mean, I played a little bit with a Call of Duty team, and I still have the clan tag, and I play with them every once in a while, but I don't play any of the new ones. But help to make comment or whatever, commentary and stuff on the. I'm very like team oriented when it comes to that stuff, so I have a lot of fun.
Did you just say you played with FaZe?
No, with a Call of Duty team.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
No Luck headquarters on. I think their TikTok was doing a little bit of numbers and stuff back in the day. But
Are they better than FaZe Clan?
nobody's ever heard of No Luck HQ, so they probably are not better than.
Oh, they're probably gonna feel real disrespected right now. Well, anyway,
they gotta step it up.
We've
Gotta step it up.
We've also got playing games without a console just became available to more people and more places. So yeah, this is quite interesting here. I was looking at this and the cloud. So what's your guys' take on cloud gaming? What do you guys think?
Inevitable.
Go ahead.
Like that's just where I'm at. Like we're so close to that. Like they and people were screaming about this during PS3 360 era. Like just the one console. Like no more like exclusivity, and we're getting to that point in some way where like your physical console is not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Microsoft really went hard with it last gen, and it's showing this gen.
they did. Yeah, I mean, like, look, obviously we saw the rise and quick crash of like Stadia, for instance. But I will say this: I think even since the launch of Stadia, cloud gaming is already more viable. It makes sense for a lot of people, but not everyone, right? And that's the problem. It doesn't make sense for everyone, and that becomes the issue. And that's where my problem's at.
Yeah.
Like for me,
and we still.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Craig.
No, I was just gonna say we still have pockets in America that do not have stable internet.
Yeah.
Yep. So like we're like there if you live in metropolitan areas. Like I could technically go cloud, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well,
I don't even know the limitations. I mean, like what your bare minimum limitations to have it. I don't even know. I have grandpa and grandma check your email internet, so I don't really know if I could. So
we can tell.
Well, so here's what's interesting. A lot of mobile games like that are multiplayer, Fortnite for once, use cloud backend.
Yeah.
So you play Fortnite over phone, you have just the bare minimum actually downloaded to your phone or device, and everything's running in the background. And it's now that way. Call of Duty, even like you download like the maps and levels and everything, but literally everything else is running back in on the cloud. So we're already there in some ways, but we're not like 100% all in there. And I have a feeling if PlayStation now like forgets their crap together, or I'm sorry, PlayStation Plus now, if they ever get their crap together, and we could see Sony, because they're leaning hard that way now with the digital only console. Gotta buy the disc drive now for the PS5, those sort of things. I think Nintendo will probably be the only console maker with a cartridge for the next generation or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My problem is like you were saying the pockets of people that don't have viable internet. So I mean I live kind of in the middle of nowhere. surrounding me is the middle of nowhere. I guess I live closest to what our city is, and which is a very small town. We just got gigabyte internet here, but 10 minutes down the road, they don't even have that option. Where my sister lives 15 minutes away, they don't have their internet is pretty bad. I mean, like I'm talking, we're barely above broadband, the beginning of broadband. Like their internet is just like non-existent. They have terrible internet, and it's just like doesn't make sense. So like there's going to be a lot of people like that, especially here in Ohio and the southern states. Like rural areas are just going to have a big problem with this, and like not even just talking about the US, looking globally, a lot of people are nowhere near to having gigabyte internet. And you don't have to have gigabyte internet to do cloud gaming, but I feel like, to me, trying it before gigabyte internet and after is such a big difference. I mean, I was having lagging playing Shredder's Revenge, and that is like a bare minimum game. So I'm very mixed on it. I know it's the way we're going, but until we're all like uniform on some sort of level with internet, it's gonna suck for some people. So
Yeah, I don't think it's there yet. I mean, I felt that way before Stadia released. I remember I used to be in sales, and I was on the road listening to the announcement of Stadia, and I was just shaking my head. I was like, "No, this is going to ruin some games, and people are going to be getting scammed out of buying games, and they're not going to be accessing." And then, like, what, 2 years later, Stadia's down.
Yep.
But
yeah, like that. Do I sound? Oh yeah, do I sound a little better?
Yeah, you sound a little better. Yeah.
Okay.
So this all leads into Boosteroid, which is like Samsung's new streaming app, essentially, cloud gaming app. That looks like they'll have Xbox, Nvidia, GeForce Now, Amazon Luna, Udemy, which I'm not familiar with that one, AntStream Arcade, which is almost on everything now, it seems like, and Black Nut. But this is their sort of introduction into going into cloud gaming, and it's Samsung is a big TV manufacturer. So this is pretty interesting that they're going to have like their own little gaming hub going on with all this stuff. So, I mean, essentially with the way we are already, because they're not even the first ones to do it, you don't even have to have an Xbox anymore. You know, if you want to play Xbox games and you want to play the first party games at least, or what's on Game Pass, you don't even need a console. You don't even have the Series S. No problem. You don't need a Series S. Play it on your TV.
It really makes me wonder how much of a money loss that is, though. Like, because we know they're probably not making money off consoles, and
no
they're
way.
making their money. Really and truly, they're making their money on digital games. I think it was like 90% of digital games were the sales last year, and so as a service, just really makes me like curious how many people are actually subscribing, like how much is going towards per game, like just as a numbers guy in the back end, I really am curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and we'll see it. We'll see where they're at too. It is interesting because Xbox Game Pass had a price increase, PS Plus had a price increase, and that was a big uproar. That was a, I mean,
I canceled.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I really don't care about my PS Plus library that much. Like, if I cared about it, I'd buy a physical copy or just rebuy it.
I didn't fully cancel, but I got rid of premium because there's no way I'm not doing it. And I've been a subscriber since day one, and I have used it so little that I have not justified even a month of paying for that. And I'm an idiot for not having done it before, but
there's probably one game a year I actually have played on PlayStation Plus on average. And half the time, by the time it's like I get around to it, it's so discounted on sale, I can't justify it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. And look, the games that they're adding, the games they're giving for the PS Plus games, I'm not even talking premium. The PS Plus games every month are horrible. They gave us the Saints Row remake. That's not even a remake. The Saints Row reboot, right?
Yeah.
Nobody asked for that. Nobody
No,
cared.
no.
Yeah.
But yet, Sea of Stars was locked behind the paywall of having to upgrade to premium.
Yep. Yep.
That like I upgraded to premium for 2 months, and it was like $20, and the game was 30. So I was like, okay.
Well, while we're talking PlayStation, we'll go because I've got quite a bit to say, and we've got a person here that was able to grab one. The PlayStation Portal launched 2 days ago, and they're gone. They're non-existent. They're nowhere in stores.
Really?
I have talked. No, so let's put it this way. I have traveled to 4 cities, gone to 9 stores. I have called stores beyond that point. Nobody has them. Everybody, I've went into GameStop to talk to them and get their official word on what they've been told, and I've talked to 3 GameStops just in the past few days, and yeah, I'm hearing all the same thing. PlayStation is not supplying them. They didn't think they were going to sell that many units, and it's the PS5 all over again. They are nowhere, and they're in high demand, and they are selling right now for $450 to $500 on eBay.
Jeez, there was one on Marketplace near me for $265, brand new, and I was like I wasn't even looking for it; it just popped up,
Yeah.
you know. But
well, I just keep seeing these
bought one 'cause-
screenshots and groups of people showing the new eBay listings. I'm blown away that.
Oh God!
It's shocking to me because it's an accessory, but that price tag, I shouldn't be shocked because scalpers will try to make their money any way possible. But
Right.
I'm blown away that
Yeah.
this is happening again.
Yeah, actually, Chase, I'm curious on your thoughts on how you feel about it because I've seen
Yeah.
so many mixed reactions on either the router, your router's not good enough, or you'll be playing fine one day and then the next day it's laggy, and so yeah. I'm curious what your experience has been.
So I'll start with I've been in the bed most of the time, and I haven't actually opened it up yet. I have listened to I'll put on podcasts and things and reviews, but I'll be honest, I haven't tried it out. But I know I'm horrible. Game hoarder, buy it and put it on the shelf.
So
it's actually downstairs, but well, things I have seen, I kind of already want to upgrade my router because I'm still using the router I bought when I met my now wife 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 2014, 9 years ago. Holy cow, 9 years ago.
So here's my problem with this whole. Yeah, my whole problem with this whole accessory is you need a better router, but I don't understand why it couldn't have been done through an internal Wi-Fi signal between the PlayStation and when you're local.
More money.
I'm right here,
That's why,
and it's right there. I don't understand why. And the thing's $200, and it works off Wi-Fi. My phone does the same freaking thing. So what are you? Just a big question is: are you paying for the DualShock 5? Because that's not worth it to me. Basically, I look at it as a consumer,
the
and I'm
DualSense, Craig, the DualSense.
Okay, I'm sorry, the DualSense.
We know what you meant. We know what you
they
meant.
actually
They ain't gotta
changed
bust
the
it
name of the controller for the past 5 freaking generations.
I know.
I just look at it this is why the Wii U failed. Because it was a second device that was super confusing, that nobody understood what it really was. And
They really should have
was
just made it plug and play. And
agreed.
Or I would have paid $100 more for something that was a PSP or a PS Vita. I would have paid $100 more.
I'm saying I feel the exact same way. If this thing was $300, $400, I would justify it if it was a digital PS5 on to go.
Yeah. Even I kind of want to go open it up in front of you guys right now and get my first take on it. But
I mean, here's
I've heard it takes forever to download updates.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, I mean,
I'll do it tomorrow.
It's selling out, right? So, at the end of the day, does it matter what we're saying about it? It's selling out, and it's going to continue to sell. However, obviously, I think it's going to reach a stopping point where it'll be on the shelves just fine, and I don't think it's going to take that long. But it's PlayStation branded. People will eat up anything that PlayStation puts out. The same thing happened with the DualSense Edge. It sold out. Couldn't buy it for a little bit. Eventually, it's out. It came on the shelves. Now I see them every time I go in the store. I think it's just we're at the hype factor for it. It doesn't make sense for most people, but I get it. I do get it. And I said sort of my thoughts last week where, okay, the DualSense Edge is the same price. It sells no problem. That's just a controller. Sure, it has a lot of functions. Sure, it's a premium controller. I get it. I have, the Series X variant of that. I get the whole deal, and I sort of understand who this is for, and it's for the people that we were just talking about previously that have fine connections and want to be able to play it across their house, and that's who it's for at the end of the day. You can do the same thing on your phone, but I also get this. I cannot play games on my phone. It's a huge problem. Even on Do Not Disturb, there's something about playing the game on my phone where it's a constant stream of communication, and I know I can't play it for an hour straight because it's not often that I get to go an hour without having to check my phone. Now, not everybody's like me and can, do that, but there's a lot I have to keep up with between 100 different things, and it's a mind thing where I know I'm blocking out something I need to keep on me. Just never know. Like there's so much going on for me that it's hard to dedicate an hour to use on my phone in that way. So for me, it's very hard. Now, mobile games that are the quick mobile games, that's different, right? You don't have to turn off all your notifications. You can play those games in the background. So I get it. There's a market for this, but I feel like it's a niche market, and I feel like it is a sad day that we did not get a dedicated handheld, or at least a dedicated PlayStation 5 handheld. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna fall into the camp of the guys that are getting older and want to be able to lay in bed and maybe actually get a chance to play Spider-Man 2. And that's probably what I'm going to use it for.
And that's me. That's
not,
me.
Not on multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use it to, or sitting on the couch next to my wife.
It's not even being lazy. Like I get it because it's a reason that my Switch gets about 10 times more play when I get to play than my home console.
Right.
My dedicated console only platforms.
And it's also the reason I bought a Switch Lite, and I have like all the a couple of Ambernic devices and stuff like that. It's like it's just so much easier. I think I have like an Ambernic RGO whatever blah 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 on my bedside now. It's just easier.
And it's the reason why people are so into all those things right now. There's a lot of people like us that's the case. The Analogue Pocket. I mean, that's there's a reason that sells so well too. People just love handhelds again because it makes sense. It really makes sense. It's especially as an adult. I feel like when we were kids, it was like adults don't play the handhelds, right? Like that's a kid's toy. But now it's turned around to where like adults are wanting that sort of thing, and it makes sense. I get it. I totally get it. So it sucks the way that this turned out with PlayStation not supplying them. It sucks the way they did this device or accessory. I don't even like to call it a handheld because, but it's
an accessory. It's not playing the games without the PS5.
Right. Yep. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. And as Craig said, we're hearing like very mixed things. My buddy that lives 20 minutes away from me, he was able to get one. He also pre-ordered it immediately. He loves it. I've heard nothing bad. He said one game, I want to say, I forget what it was, maybe Forspoken or something, didn't run well on it, was testing out in a bunch of games. And I'm hearing that it is different like game to game with this. I don't know what's causing that, but there's been some discourse in the Facebook groups and Reddit. I've been keeping an eye on it, and I've been hearing that there are games that are not running well on it. Don't look good.
You think it's taking up? Some of the horsepower, if you will, depending on the game?
Probably.
That
I
or
mean,
bandwidth.
yeah, something's going on. Yeah, it had.
Yeah,
It would probably
bandwidth.
be the bandwidth, but something's going on. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on it and see sort of the development over the next week with this. But Super Mario RPG also dropped the same day, and I know I'm excited to play this game.
I am too.
So
Yeah.
excited,
I
dude.
bought it. This will be my first time playing it, so
Oh, dude,
I'm
you're
gonna,
in
I'm
for
gonna
a
try to
ride.
sit down and I'm gonna try to sit down and a couple of other people on the advisory board for Raleigh Retro Gamers. They actually have physical copies, and I think Craig, you showed yours off last week, right, or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, the Super Nintendo was my first console, so it's like I don't know. I'm surprised that like it was just never on my radar. I mean,
You know, it came out so late in the console's life
Oh.
that a ton of people missed it. And because I didn't get a 64 till late. And so I was still riding that like, well, games are still coming out for the Super Nintendo. My family doesn't have a lot of money, so we blockbustered it like every weekend. And that's how I found out about Mario RPG. Also, like
oh wow.
walking through Toys R Us once a week. And so like
Yeah.
that's how I got my introduction into Mario RPG, and since then, like it's just been, it's one of those games that's special because it set a lot of the trends for modern RPGs, but at the same time, like they just have not nailed that formula with like the Mario and Luigi series or even Paper Mario. Like Paper Mario, the first one's good, Thousand and Door like really took it, but Super Mario RPG just has a magic to it that I don't want to spoil it. That's the thing. And like you probably don't know, you get Peach and Bowser in your party, and like my 6-year-old's afraid of Bowser. I'm like, no, he's your best friend in this one, and she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And so there's just so many like nods to Nintendo as a franchise, and the writing like in the original was hysterical in just so many different ways. And they've modified it, but there's like a line where he's like, "No, don't go in like Bruce Lee." Well, they cut the Bruce Lee reference, but it's like at the time, like
Oh,
when you're a
darn.
teenager, you're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like all this like pop culture is being like dumped into this game.
That's funny.
Like
Yeah.
if
I'm
you
looking
see like
forward
some
to
of the
it 'cause
changes they made.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited, and seeing your passion for it kind of even excites me even more. 'Cause I want to
It's just
I want to sit down and play it with no interruptions for hours. That's what I want to
yes,
do.
and it's absolutely one of those games that makes you wonder why they never brought back the timed hits in other franchises, because it's like it's so addicting to like when you nail it. And I'm glad they made some changes to it where now like a successful timed hit like does extra damage to the enemy party, which is cool. It didn't do that in the original. The triple attacks is new. That's cool. Like it's one of those things is there, but like you can turn on the original score, you can set the original difficulty, and there's like a couple other tweaks which I get, but at the same time, like if you get into it, all of a sudden like it opens up the world of Mario RPG Randomizer, which is like a whole other beast. Like, and it's not a hard game. Like the level cap's 30, and but also
So have you
there's
like beat this game already?
oh
Sounds
dude,
like-
dude, I could tell you story. Like I played Mario RPG randomizers for years, along with
Dude,
like
that's
there's
so
a Link to the
awesome.
Past Super Metroid randomizer that is like where you start
Yeah.
playing like Legend of Zelda, then you go to Super Metroid and you go
Yes.
back and forth to collect all like because
My head.
I mean first baby we didn't have money, so I was like, oh, randomizers. But yeah, like the game's not super long either, which is why I love it, especially like if you want to go the randomizer route. But there's like hidden items, and the fact you can jump in an RPG, like in 1999, 98, whenever it released, 97, when the
It was
64
that
released,
late,
was it?
wasn't it?
It was late.
64 was
Like it was what
96, right?
96 maybe?
No,
97.
97. Okay. So yeah,
what,
it was late
96 or
97 when
97,
RPG came out. Yeah. Anyway, no, you couldn't jump in RPGs, and so like the fact they
Right.
added jumping as a mechanic outside the game,
Big deal.
like to find hidden items, like for mini games, stuff like that. It was just huge at the time, and so it's like okay. And then it was a Mario RPG with Square Enix, who just come off Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger. So like
Oh yeah.
they like Square was in its golden age because they were getting ready for PS1. Nintendo was in its it was top tier Nintendo and PlayStation at the time, or Nintendo and Sony at the time.
Huge. Yeah, I mean, I think that this game, the original game, just can't be understated. I mean, it's such a phenomenal game, and Gino.
Oh, dude,
Gino
Gino.
is just so good. The official
Yeah.
Nintendo forums, he was clamored to be in anything ever that would come out in the future. Is Gino in it? Is Gino going to be in this game?
Yeah.
Where's Gino?
Every single Smash Brothers.
Yep.
Every Smash Brothers. People are like, "Where's Gino?
Yep.
Don't give me the freaking skin. Give me Gino."
Or
And yeah, like
do you remember Melee, right? Like people would say you
Yup.
could get Gino this way, or like you do this certain thing, and like you can get Gino. It was the same with Sonic too. They did that with Sonic for years, and man,
yeah,
I'm so excited to
Yeah,
play
it
this
was-
game. I'm
Yeah, you got me hyped up now.
So, okay,
and
even
another
from-
example. Now the Game Awards. Now this doesn't even have a chance.
no, it's
right,
not
exactly.
even-
And
Right to your point earlier.
Yep.
okay, so even going back, like imagine in the '90s, like storytelling, like you remember Super Nintendo games were pretty vague,
Yeah.
but Mallow has a story of like just trying to figure out who he is as a person, and then you have Gino who's just like, "I'm here. What next?" Like, and like the deep like philosophical story behind, like into that, like now as somebody in my 30s, pushing 40s, like holy crap, I'm struggling with that now. Like I was struggling with that in high school.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like it's a kids game that has like adult themes in its story.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I ordered it yesterday. I got a pretty big discount on it, so I don't regret that. But I'm bummed I can't talk about it a little bit. But I've had enough experience with the original game that I can have some
Yeah.
input on it. I'm super stoked. It was shocking to see that when they announced it. I literally
Oh,
yelled
yeah.
out loud live. So it was the hype is off the charts to play this. I'm so excited, and it's not a
Yeah.
super long game either.
Mm-mm.
And- which
Maybe
I like
20
these days.
hours.
I actually prefer that because then I don't
Yeah.
I don't feel like discouraged to start it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if it's gonna be a
So
long
there's
game,
also
I gotta dedicate some time.
it's also really cool. They kept some original glitches. There's a super boss that is in there, and they added another super boss apparently, which I love. There's min maxing with all your levels because you get bonuses. Like you can do HP, special, or attack, defense, and you can like build your characters out like however you want. So you can give Bowser a crap ton of HP, make him a tank. So there's stuff like that that just makes the game that much more special.
Yeah, it's a very
Excited.
exciting time that we're getting some of these, and I think the perfect time being that, I mean, let's be real, it's like the last real full year for this Switch, and they're giving us 1,000-Year Door 2, which is around the corner, which is also a
Mhm.
phenomenal game, and
Yeah.
that's right up there. I mean, it's not quite Super Mario RPG for me, but it is to me still a 10 out of 10 game, I think, in my
Yeah.
opinion, and for me it is. I love 1,000-Year Door, but super exciting time for sure. If you're a Nintendo fan, this year's been pretty crazy with games, man. Just off the wall.
Yeah, when's that video coming out about this year?
I'm
Looking forward to it.
Probably a few weeks. I'm thinking probably giving a little more time. But I'm super excited.
Got
about
some more games to come out.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I want to
no
be able
kidding.
to have some time with Super Mario RPG. I bought Star Ocean and haven't gotten to play it yet. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so I want to be able
you
to
need
talk
to start
about
Star
that.
Ocean. You need to start Star Ocean. So
Yeah.
I am so glad. I originally got introduced to it on the PSP.
Okay.
Didn't get to finish it then. And it takes about 100 hours to do everything, but there's like 99 endings, but you get
Yes.
multiple endings for every playthrough. It's just one of
Oh,
those
wow.
special games, kind of like Mario RPG. Even though it came out after Mario RPG, it's when
Sure.
Enix and Square were hitting that like, let's have like deep philosophical stories that aren't just a teenager goes and saves the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've always loved Star Ocean. I think a very underrated series. Just doesn't get enough
Hmm.
love. It really never has, but I'm excited about that. So I want to be able to at least, I know dang well I won't be able to finish yet. I haven't even finished Wonder yet, for God's sake. So, but also like I
Yeah.
want a little,
That's
just a little more time with Spider-Man because I feel like I have not got to play enough of Spider-Man to speak deeply on it either. And I just want to talk about some of these major to me because I want to hit some of the B or C tier games that have released this year because there's been a lot that I've had so much fun with. So much fun. Just it's crazy. This year's been crazy. So we've also got Skyrim has more players than Starfield on Steam. What's the
Oh damn.
context on this one, Craig? That's wild.
it was like early in the week. I was looking for news stories
Yeah.
for us to talk about, and I saw this. I just thought it was more hilarious than anything, considering the Game Awards. Like they just announced like the line for the Game Awards.
Right.
I'm like, wow, like everybody's talking about Skyrim, which I'm sure, or everybody's talking about Starfield, which I know, and you guys know, our social media feeds, like there's still people talking about
Yeah.
that game.
Yep.
But it just really shows how many people probably bought it on Steam versus buying it through like Xbox, like whatever platform. I'll be honest, I'm so out of touch with PC gaming. So,
I am too.
like,
Yeah.
I don't even know where you can buy stuff. Like, I know Epic and like stuff like that, but like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So it'd probably be like the Xbox PC store. But I just thought that was hilarious that more people are playing Starfield on Steam than they are, or Skyrim on Steam than they are Starfield, which shows the buying power or the staying power Skyrim has had.
Which
Like
has
that
been on
game.
literally everything. I feel like that meme of can it run Doom or like Doom playing on like
Yeah.
a pregnancy test. Like I feel like
Just like,
it's Starfield or not Starfield. Skyrim has been on everything. I just feel like it's the
Yeah.
Doom thing to me now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the fact they put Skyrim on Switch at launch, that was hilarious enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're charging $60 for this,
Oh yeah. That was
and
mind.
that
people
game,
bought it.
like, it still has not dropped price.
That's crazy, man. It's just so crazy. And then also like we just got that new version of Sky. I think that came out this year. It could have been last year. I don't remember. But it's like a real updated version of Skyrim. It's like that is it
Yeah,
the anniversary edition? I can't remember.
yeah,
But it's had like
yeah. The
actual work
anniversary
done
is
to it and it's kind of like, like a real sort of new edition of Skyrim that's not just another port, but that
So
also
it's not a
yeah.
comes
remake or a remaster.
So Skyrim on Switch has held its value so much. Brand new is $40 at Walmart, $60 download through the eShop. So,
Dang.
like that has not dropped price.
and realistically that
How'd
should
you
have
get it?
launched at 20 because like it's on everything.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's just like been on everything, man. But I get it, man. People, it's one of those games that's like a I see it all the time because I see people still reference it. It's a officially a pop culture game and officially a
Mhm.
comfort game for people. I think that's the biggest thing. I feel like I see so many people talk about it, specifically females for me that I see talk about it as like their sort of comfort game, the game they go in to turn their mind off and just, that sort of thing, or the game they can play while they're watching TV and they don't need the volume on and nothing really matters. They're just playing the game.
It's really a no pressure game when you think
Mhm.
about it, because Baldur's Gate, you have that pressure of like to drive the story forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
GTA does as well, but the thing, and I think the disconnect where, in just knowing women in my life who would rather play Skyrim over GTA, is the amount of sexual references, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
just the culture of GTA,
Sure.
versus I can go in Skyrim and I don't have that pressure to meet a mold. So I can easily see why that identifies with the female audience.
Yeah.
As we're three dudes talking.
Right. I'm just, my view, like people I even personally know in my life, it tends to be a lot of females that are talking about Skyrim. Just what I see
Yeah.
more, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that 20, 25 years ago. So I think it's great. The staying power on Skyrim is just crazy. I was looking at this article here, and it looks like Starfield's has lost 66% of its players in 1 month and 39% in the last 30 days. That's crazy. But I
That's
am
heavy.
one of
That'll-
those 66% because I tried so hard. I spent 9 hours in the game, 9 hours, and for me, it just didn't connect. And it did with some people, but for me, it didn't connect, and it wasn't. It just wasn't what I wanted. I was so excited for this game, but for me, it just didn't connect, and I fell off, and I fell off real hard. I didn't touch it again. Don't have any desire to go back. Now, maybe there'll be an update or something that'll happen. Maybe there'll be a Cyberpunk 2077 situation where people are clamoring to go back to that game. People are loving the update for that. What is it? Phantom Liberty or whatever the
I don't know.
subtitle for that
Can you
is.
buy it on a disc?
That's a good question. I don't know. But
I mean, I don't really want to buy any more games unless it's all there.
No, I'm with you. And
Yeah.
what was it? Dead Cells just had this issue where it was all
the
supposed to be on the
Castlevania.
cart, but it was only the base game, but all the DLC you had to download. So
Yeah.
I think we even talked about it a little bit last week, but yeah, I have not seen Starfield physically anywhere. Or not Starfield. Yeah, Starfield. I haven't seen it physically anywhere.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I haven't been looking for it, but yeah.
Well, I see that
Also-
where you get it in the case, but it's not the game. It's just like the case with the
Yeah, the
PC
download
games.
only on the Switch boxes. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't even know if they put
It's same on the
it's
on the Xbox case.
Yeah, it's wild to me. But yeah, who
But
knows?
with my
I mean,
wallet.
Probably. Yeah, you probably put the disc in and have to download everything. Is my best guess.
Yeah. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it's just a piece of paper in there because they do that a lot. I mean, I've got some Switch games here now that's the case. So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's 100% going to be major development to this game still going on. They're not just going to drop this game. They've sunk so much money into it. There's going to be tons of development, and I definitely see some big expansions and big things happening for it in the future that could potentially bring me back and some of these 66% of players. You know, if they brought back 20% of those players, that could be good. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, I hope for the best for the game, and unfortunately, it seems like more people are playing Skyrim. So we've also got Analogue Pocket. So we're talking about Analogue Pocket again. They announced that 8 new classic colors went up for pre-order, and of course, as per usual, they immediately sold out. Variety of sort of standard collars, that's why they call it classic, but they had like pink in there and white, and is that right, Chase? One of them was white again? A different
indigo,
shade of white or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silver.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now.
I've got
Yeah, silver, orange, pink.
I went to the website and I could have ordered another one, but I just was like, I'm kind of, I don't know, $250. Like, I was okay with buying a couple of them at $199, and then they went to $219, and then there's the Glow Edition, $249, and then the translucent is like, all right, you guys really know how to, get me to pull my wallet out and shake it so everything falls out.
Okay, so I am not an Analog Pocket guy. I get the appeal because I have a modded GBA or GBA and GBC. I look at the price though, as someone who's like shops around, like what would be the draw of that versus like an Amberneck device? Because you can't play anything higher than GBA, right?
I think the draw becomes
it's
apparent
basically
when
16
you're
bit below.
I'm a Game Boy holder, and you can not that everybody's going to use that feature, but because it can do it, and you can, throw your actual cartridge in there.
Yeah.
I think it makes people want it even more. I think it's more of a FOMO thing. I think people who are actually going to play the games probably already have modded, handhelds. They already have the Ambernics. And I do too. I'm guilty of it. I like the OEM, and I'll stand by. And maybe Brandon's a little bit different, but Game Boy Advance ST is the best Game Boy, and it has the backwards, 101. It's got the screen, it's got the backlit, but the Pocket, I guess the draw would be it can do all that. The cores are going to be developed. I think it's part of it's the feature to use it. I think another part of it is the name behind it. It's a name brand, I guess. It's fancy. It's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you should see the
think it's
analog
overpriced.
groups. People are paying over. I mean, I just saw somebody sell the Analog NG Noir. I think it was NG Noir, maybe.
Yeah.
Just sold $1,800 in the group a couple days ago. $1,800 for a special collar.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's
like
the name, man. It's the name. It's like the.
I mean,
It's the name.
originally I was looking at the Mega SC and the Super NT a long time ago, and then the original NES they came out with.
Yeah.
Like I was so close to pulling the trigger on that because I was in the mindset I need to go HD. I need to go HD. But now I'm like, no, I'm going backwards. And so, like, I guess I see the appeal, but and it's like, man, I kind of wish they would have done these colors when they originally announced this thing.
The colors are cool. I'll tell you, for me, there's a lot of reasons for the Pocket, not so much for the other systems. I was staring again. I've done it about 15 times. I'm a huge TurboGrafx guy. My favorite 16. It's not even technically 16-bit. People argue with you, but my favorite, I'll say 16 and 8-bit, whatever. I love TurboGrafx, the PC engine. And I was looking again at the console that they have, the Analog Duo on there. And one of the biggest things about like the Analog Pocket for me and why I wanted it so bad is the adapters. The adapters are the big thing for me. So being able to play my physical or EverDrives, because that's the option that I'm going with, be able to play my EverDrives to also play those FPGA, the Atari Lynx, the TurboGrafx / PC Engine, the Game Gear, the Neo Geo Pocket. Like, this is my all-in-one tool for those. But also the biggest thing is, even though I don't have it yet, Chase just keeps crapping on me for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust your chops on that one.
Yeah, the dock,
Yeah.
being able to stream and record all of that gameplay that I need to have access to. Being able to do that with the dock and having all those systems plus the open FPGA with access to pretty much everything 16-bit and under, arcade, all the crazy obscure systems. That's my reason. Having access in my hand to be able to do all of this with streaming and recording, and the FPGA is the biggest deal for me. Like, sure, I could stream all of those with emulation. That's fine. If I had the Mister, same sort of option. But being able to physically play my EverDrives on one device like that for systems that I love the Lynx, I love the Game Gear, and I've got a decked out. I'll actually grab it real quick. So I've got a Game Gear that runs a higher price tag than the Analog Pocket does. Now,
Yeah, I've built them.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Nice.
this is more
I've actually
expensive than the Pocket.
So Brandon, not to one up that, I've bought the new board by Retro 6
Yeah.
and transferred over chips. So it's like a $400 Game Gear all in parts. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, this is $400 exactly, $399. So, and to be fair, I didn't buy this, but it's a phenomenal piece of work. I mean, it literally is art. It's a brand new board, a custom board.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about this is just
Wow.
absolutely phenomenal. And I still want a Game Gear adapter for the reason I just told you. Now, I could do that still because this has HDMI out. But to be able to do all of that on one handheld And honestly, you don't even need the adapters. If you use Open FPGA and don't care about that, you can have access to all those systems without the adapters. But for me, I'm a big EverDrive guy. I love my EverDrives. I just absolutely love them. For me, retro gaming, they're the most important thing to me. And yeah, to be able to do all that on one single handheld, to me, is mind-blowing and amazing. And FPGA is everything in retro gaming to me. I want to be able to have that original experience. I want that to run the exact same way it did on an actual cart, and it does. So for me, that's my reasoning. Now, I would say that probably 75% of people are not in my mindset with it, and they just want to have access to Game Boy, or they just like the Analogue name. That's it. So
I do think it's a little overpriced at the $249, but I don't think there's much that does all the features that it does. So I don't really, and it's selling out, so I guess maybe it's not too much. But
Well,
said and done,
okay,
once you buy one and pay shipping and taxes, you're dropping $300 because they're
yeah.
yeah,
So
the shipping is crazy. I mean,
shipping's like
I'm
15 or
angry at
20
them for that
bucks.
shipping, which is why I
I
haven't
mean,
bought the
Drew,
dock, because the adapters are not back in stock, and I'm going to buy them in one go. I am not paying $60 in total for 2 separate orders of shipping, because my shipping cost was $30.
Yep.
So I am not doing it. I will wait for that damn dock, because I am cheap for good
yeah,
reason.
I guess. Well, I show you how cheap I am. Like I priced out like a Mister, and technically a Mister's cheaper. Like just for the
Probably.
base.
Maybe now.
And so,
Holy crap, man!
The thing is though,
Phew.
so like now, because a lot of the projects had to go open
Yeah.
source because limited
Right.
parts. But I mean, yeah, used to like even pre-COVID or height of COVID, it was like $600 for a Mister. The
$600
thing
all
is,
day.
I look at
geez.
it too. A Mister's not portable,
Right.
and that's where I can see. Yeah.
And that's my biggest problem with that, right? Which kind of sucks, because it's not often, especially for retro gaming, that I get to sit down and do that all the time. And I can't even sit down to play my new games most of the time. So that's, I still want the Mister to have something stationary here at the computer, and it's, again, mostly going to be for streaming and recording. Honestly, if it's me just playing, like something like that I can access, like say it is 16-bit and under, I'll play it on like the Pocket or whatever other way that I have to play things. But yeah, I mean, all this stuff's expensive. I mean, gaming's expensive. Like, that's just gaming is not cheap anymore. Everything is expensive. I mean, look at collecting. Like, we're talking about the price of the Analogue Pocket, but you can buy just one Game Boy game in the box, and it's triple the price of the Analog Pocket. So like, is it really too much? Like, to me, the price point makes sense for this. I get it. I wish it was at 200 like it was before. I feel like that's a really solid price point to me for what you get, but 250 is a lot. But I mean, we just discussed, $400 Game Gear. Like, is it too much? I don't know. But I will say this. They've got some slimy tactics. I know that much. I am not a fan of the way that they do things.
Everything's highly limited.
Like it's Supreme or something.
Highly limited.
Yeah.
It's not limited, it's highly limited.
Oh, they put that in their descriptions too,
I know.
don't they? Yeah. Highly limited.
They do. They're right there on their homepage. All their advertisements for it.
What do you think, Craig, about kind of the way that they do their business?
I get it. I mean, it goes back to limited run. Like if you look at it like that, like everything is limited for the sake of keeping the market, like keeping that market name high. But the problem with that, though, as a consumer, is now if I buy it secondhand, I'm probably going to pay more than I would have bought it new. So from the manufacturer standpoint, it's like, well, wait, why are you limiting everything to being highly limited? Like, I know an all metal GBA or GBA SP shell about $100. So why not just make it plastic? I look at those things from the consumer standpoint, even from a small business owner aspect. It's like, you're not necessarily cutting costs. You're making a premium product, which you can sell at that higher price. But if you really want to make this available to the hands and like keep that resale value low, then why not just make it not highly limited?
Yeah,
I know FPGA costs are like kind of few and far between because you have to source chips and those sort of things, but there's really no reason why we should be keeping this stuff highly limited or limited. Like, I get limited run from this aspect of like, hey, we're only going to produce so many copies of this game, and then we're done. But at the same time, we're talking about handheld consoles, like not kind of funny. Funny Playing just announced their own FPGA Game Boy.
Yeah, I saw
So,
that.
yeah.
I saw that.
like, and it's like kind of close to the same price as like it would be to fully restore Game Boy Color. So if Funny Playing is making this widely available and you're only making this limitedly available, well, eventually we're going to figure out Super Nintendo. We're going to figure out all these other systems. We've already figured it out with Mister. We're like just there to getting to where Analog's going to have serious competition.
I'm all for it. Bring the prices down. Give the products to the people. Give us what we want.
Yeah,
I'll probably buy that too, honestly.
I mean, like we're already moving away from emulation to FPGA. Like it's there and it's here. We've already seen like 3DS and DS as FPGA, like figured that out. So what like at one point is it going to be more mainstream?
Yeah,
It's coming.
yeah. What was the other FPGA thing that just got brought to a convention? They just displayed it there for the first time for people to play and mess with.
That was the DS or 3DS one.
Is that what that was?
That was huge. That was huge.
I need to look into that.
Okay,
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's awesome. I love to see it, and yeah, competition's good, but I think that Analogue's probably not extremely worried because their name is Analogue, and they built their name by doing this, and now they have a hardcore rabid fan base of people that will buy one of every single collar and literally will pay $1,800 for a collar of a system that was $300 when it came out. Not even that long ago. Like I just don't think that they necessarily have a ton to worry about. Like, look at this Ultra, the 64. What's it called? Digital 60. I forget their name for the
yeah.
64.
They're doing
Analog
64 next
Nintendo 64
next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's probably already ready to go. They're just making the limited quantities now. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yep. And we've got there's another apparently FPGA 64 being worked on too. So
yeah, so I know Mister they just figured out and started
cores.
dialing in the cores for that. So it's interesting that Analog's been working on it behind the scenes. So
it's cool. It's cool to see this though. I mean, it's great for people that love retro gaming, and it's great for preservation's sake and keeping this alive to the coming generations. And I also think that Analogue does great work. There's no doubt about that. I don't like the practices and their business decisions necessarily, and the shipping is outrageous. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I could ship to California, for an Analog Pocket for $12 max, so it's crazy. But looks like we got a few other news things here. We got Baldur's Gate 3. It has a new deluxe edition, and it's a steal for the price, and it's also physical. So that's the big deal here, that we're getting a physical copy.
$10 more than the base game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was reading through the article. Yeah, the deluxe edition is $10 more, ships early next year, and you get more DLC and everything than it would cost you to buy the base game and purchase all the DLC.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
It's 2 discs, right? 2 discs and then 3 discs on the Xbox.
2 disc on PS5, 3 disc on Xbox, 3 disc on PC. Or includes the original soundtrack, 3 discs, and as part of the deluxe edition.
That's pretty rad. Cool. Yeah, I thought it was wild that didn't have a physical edition, but I wasn't shocked. I
That's
was
why I haven't
really
played it
bummed.
yet.
I was
I'm,
really
I'm
bummed out about not having a physical, but
well, and the other thing too is looking at it like the amount of times we've gotten deluxe editions or like limited edition stuff, and the game wasn't included.
Yeah.
It's been pretty stupid.
hmm
So,
Yeah,
and
I
you
think
don't even get like,
any time at all is stupid to me. But yes, you're right.
well, and the fact that a lot of them haven't even come with a code or anything, just get all the
nothing.
bonus crap. Like,
Yeah, the
it's like,
God of War.
God.
The
yeah,
Malger, however you say that word. Malger?
yeah.
I forget. Whatever. Did come with the game, so frustrating. But yeah, this is cool. Good news. Great game. So it definitely deserves a good physical edition. It's cool to see that you get some extra stuff there. So Sega also honored the Xbox and others want to acquire it, but it's not for sale. So what's
Yeah,
a
so-
what's this,
Okay, so
What?
we have just came off the Activision merger.
yeah.
And I think a lot of us have been scared for the sake of Sony and Microsoft. Sony just acquired more studios. So the fact that the big three are buying up studios is a little concerning because it means that if you're going to be a developer, eventually you're just going to get gobbled up
Yeah.
by the big Pac-Man. But the fact that Sega is like, we're still not for sale, like, is awesome. And it also just shows Microsoft has been wanting Sega because they do not have that family and RPG audience.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
and whereas Sony had it before Activision was bought.
Yep, that is true.
Like, it's just, and I just think it's really interesting. Like, we might hear, every now and then I hear rumors of Nintendo wanting to buy Sega. Just because of that Japanese influence, but like, yeah, I just think it's hilarious that Microsoft just tried to buy into the studio.
They spend more money and time and effort buying up things when they could just. You'd think they'd have the resources to put out some good games, but
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like they have all this money, but it's like, come on. And that's, I think that's also a little scary too, from like the gaming perspective of how much money Microsoft is dumping in. And we know they're losing money on Xbox, but they're still chugging and they're playing the long game of this. And it just kind of makes you wonder, like, okay, like, is Sony, how much longer are they going to last and put up with it?
I don't know. I think I like where games are right now. I welcome more. Wasn't Amazon supposed to be doing something? Amazon Gaming
Yeah,
or
Amazon
Luna or
Luna.
something like that?
Yeah, it's mostly just third-party games. It's nothing original at the moment. So,
Yeah, and I'm all for adding something in there, but the big three's been here for a while, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Hopefully,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I feel like, what was it? I don't know if it was a year ago or 2 years ago, but Microsoft, the Xbox part of Microsoft, put more effort into making hoodies and outfits for your controllers than they did putting out games.
well,
And I was just like,
the amount of custom controllers that come out, like, I get it has its ecosystem, and I get that people want to be in that ecosystem. It's like, if you buy an iPhone, you're going to be Apple for life, pretty much. Same like
Yep.
Android. And so Microsoft's trying to establish that, which I totally get. But from like somebody who is gotten more casual the older I get, I don't like it because that forces me to have to buy all three to enjoy the games that I want to enjoy. And
I
it
agree.
sucks for the consumer, which is where it's on one hand, it's like, I just want to like wipe my hands clean, just say, screw it, I'm done, I'm staying retro, or start preaching for the one platform, which is like, I don't
Yeah.
want that either, because that means we're going to miss that. Like, some companies are just going to be like, well, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. I think it's cool that Sega is kind of holding their ground. Xbox tried to. I believe it was Xbox that also tried to buy Nintendo at one point. Correct?
Yeah, it was on.
So-
Well, it was a
Early
pipe dream on
2000s,
Phil.
right?
Yeah, it was a pipe dream on Phil Spencer's list, and like they immediately shot it down. He's like, maybe one day. It's like, but I don't see that happening with Nintendo now being bigger than Disney as a household name.
Yeah, there's no way. No way. That's like Xbox essentially trying to buy like Disney or something like that. There's just no way.
I just see him ruining
I hope
it. I
somebody
know that sounds negative, but I just see him ruining it.
Yeah. Although, like, I hope
They
somebody
ruined
buys
Star
Disney
Wars.
because the dumb movies they've been coming out with.
Yeah. I mean, they burned the Star Wars name forever for me. I mean, it's just
Oh, Disney?
yeah, Star Wars is just like not. It used to be one of my favorite franchises of all time, and now it's everywhere all the time with very good, very minimum like good in it. You know, there's hardly anything I can find that I
Watered
can
down.
check out. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
They
just-
did it with Marvel. They did it with,
everything, but especially Star Wars.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. And speaking of Star
I got
Wars,
lost with Star Wars.
Yeah, what was that transition there?
yeah. So Knights of the Old Republic remake's dead.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know. If
I
you were
saw
looking
that.
forward to it, oh well.
Oh man, it was gonna be like a one of the remakes where it's a completely different type of game too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonder why that's dead. I mean,
probably because it was going to be a completely different type of game. I don't know. Yeah, I do wonder.
Well, and it's
I
gonna
do
be-
wonder the background completely on why.
It was going to be exclusive to PS5 for a while, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
No.
No,
No, I mean, there's been so many Star Wars games that have come and gone. Like now, when a Star Wars game gets announced, it's like, okay, when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's not surprising at all to me, but yeah, kind of sucks still. I hate to see a game just completely die, but obviously I think it was the investors just completely turned on it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I
they
believe
they
so.
saw something that they didn't like, obviously.
Probably with the stagnation of Star Wars. Honestly, like just
it probably
seeing
was,
how.
you're right, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably like, look, you guys need to pump the brakes on this.
Yeah, Star Wars
Yeah.
is Star Wars'd out.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a lot of hype for the Lego Star Wars, that last one earlier this year, or I think the past year.
Yeah, was it last year?
The Skywalker Saga.
Yeah,
It
and
was
that was
okay.
good,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, that's Lego Star. It's different, you know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like too, like I played it and I was like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was to me, of those like franchise Lego games, definitely the best. It was fleshed out. And
Oh, really?
a lot of fun. But it's also got the Lego name behind it, right? It's not just Star Wars.
Yeah,
so
and it's also very open world.
it is. Yeah,
Like you still have like the micro stories you play through, but like other than that, like it's huge. And I think like for me, I had to bounce out because I was like, nope, I'm looking for more. Just like get me to the next.
yeah,
And so
yeah. I
Okay.
never.
I mean, definitely,
fully.
it found
fully
its
finished
audience
it.
though.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a cool release and definitely different. But yeah, one of the cool things about Star Wars was that it was like an event every time we got something Star Wars. It was, you know what I mean? You had that time between where you got to build some hype and there got to be fan discussion on what's going to happen, and you followed the process of the next thing that's coming out, and it might be 4 or 5 years, or however long between a movie, or even like the cartoons. They were the same way. They had some time in between everything. So I don't know. It sucks, man. It's such a bummer, dude. I loved Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. But yeah, I mean, we could probably get to a topic or two. We've got a few things. One of these we had on here is hundreds of Blu-rays discounted at Best Buy ahead of Black Friday. So I assume this goes along with them getting rid of physical media. They are wanting to get everything out.
Yeah, you can get, if you missed out on Super Mario Brothers the movie, you can get it for $10, 4K Ultra.
I went on that deal. That's a
wait. Say it again.
The Mario Brothers movie, $10, 4K.
4K Blu-ray, $10.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm buying it. I'm buying it because I'm getting the limited edition.
That's what I got too, and I wouldn't open it.
I'm such a damn.
Open it.
Okay,
Order.
so honestly, like I'm about to fill my card up. So, Elf, $10, 4K. Christmas Story, 4K. The Grinch, the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey's 14. Home Alone 1 and 2 on Blu-ray for $7. Polar Express 14, 4K. Peanuts Holiday Collection 4K, $26. National Lampoon Christmas Vacation 10. Like I mean, stuff
Wow.
you normally you used to see Black Friday prices.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like Target this year, I put the link for Target and Walmart if anybody's interested. Target's not doing DVD Black Friday. They're just doing buy two get one, and they did that last year, and it sucks
Interesting.
because Target used to be like one of the kings for DVD and Blu-ray Black
Yeah,
Friday.
they were.
Same with Walmart. They're not really doing it this year. So Amazon and Best Buy, if you want physical Blu-rays, you can get Sonic the Hedgehog 2 4K for $8 at Best Buy.
Yeah, that's wild. I was looking on the list here too. Blade Runner, $10. Wolf of Wall Street, $8. Yeah, that's cool, man. Sucks they're doing away with physical media, but I'm not too surprised on that.
Yeah.
300 4K, that was $6. Yeah, that's rad. I might have to grab Sonic 2 as well because I don't have that either. Don't really buy physical movies unless it is video game related because I had to pick one thing because I used to be I like everything type of person and it got out of hand, so I said just video games, that's it. So I pick up video game related stuff and that's pretty cool. Space Jam, $6 4K. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Chase, you collect physical movies still?
You can't tell, but over there is a doorway to a walk-in closet, and I've got bookshelves with tons of movies. VHS, I've got. So the answer is yes, I guess, would be yes. I still hold on to them, and I don't pick them up that often, but I do. I got a bookshelf on each wall. And then it was a 3D print. I got a little print farm in there. So the room I'm in is a bedroom upstairs. It's the biggest one upstairs, but I've got like three 3D printers in there that are up and running, and a couple of them that are in the graveyard, but mostly just movies in there in a little desk. But yeah, I need to cut back on collecting something, but I guess we'll figure it out when that'll be in the near future, maybe. I don't know.
I like too many things, which is like good and bad if you enjoy grabbing things for said hobby or interest. But I went overboard on that at one point. So I said just video games, and I've been fine with that. I've got like I play music and stuff like that. I don't collect physical music anymore because I was also buying vinyls and CDs and new released cassettes, all of it. Like, I was following all the boutique releases for this stuff.
Oh yeah, I didn't get into that. I never got into collecting vinyl. I own one vinyl record, and it was Impulse by a limited run opened up. I don't know if you know this, Craig. I live like a little over an hour and a half from the limited run retail store, but all of my friends live in Cary and Raleigh and the surrounding area, so they're all like 15 minutes within a drive. But I went out to their grand opening, and the creators of Shantae were there. So I was just like buying everything that I was like, oh yeah, I got to get this. So I bought a Shantae vinyl record, and I got it signed by Matt and Aaron, the creators of Shantae. That's the only vinyl I've ever bought. The only music and cassette tapes and stuff that I own is the ones that I liked growing up, and I found them at a thrift store or at like Edward McKay's or something like that. I don't buy anything new.
I've got a couple like that of like my favorite albums and like that are like original
I got
CD
tons
releases
of it.
and stuff like that. But I have been very tempted on some of those limited run vinyls because there's a few games like that I really, really, really like. I really considered the Scott Pilgrim one. Really considered like the new TMNT ones that they're not limited run, but like for the Game Boy games because I like the soundtracks of those. So
I almost bought the cassettes of those.
Yeah.
Well, if y'all ever want to put a list together, I can run in there and get it. I go to Raleigh like every other week, but
Yeah, I'm gonna have you grab a gimmick. I'll have to see if there's.
I've already
the-
bought it. It's right there. It's downstairs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's,
I forgot.
it's yours if you want it.
Neo Geo Pocket Volume 2. That's not out yet, right? Like hasn't been
I don't think
shipped.
so.
Mm-mm,
Okay,
not yet.
that's the other big one that I want to grab. But yeah. So we also got let's see what else do we have. Oh, we had some deals to go over with Walmart and Target.
Yeah, I mean, I just put them on there in case we didn't have anything else to talk about. I mean, there's nothing. I'm looking through it now. It's like Sonic Superstar, $40. Like
Okay.
there's some stuff you kind of expect a price break on. The new Paw Patrol game is going to be $20.
I'll chase the
Nickelodeon
guy,
Kart Racers, yeah, the Nickelodeon Kart Racers collection. So it's 1, 2, and 3, $20.
I forgot they even
So-
made a third.
Yeah, Sonic Origins Plus, $20.
Okay,
Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS4, $15 at Walmart.
it's a good deal.
So,
So nothing like
I mean, there's some.
super notable, but
That's
there's
the
some
thing, like,
there's
this
some
year-
deals to be had.
Now, I always find them like local. Target actually has better deals on some stuff,
Oh, okay.
but not much more. Like, they have like buy an Xbox Series X with the Diablo
Yeah.
for $450 and get a $50 gift card. Like, if you're looking for a Series X, Target's probably the place to go.
Oh well, that's a pretty good deal. You're getting the game, you're getting
That's
the
a
console
good
$50 less and a card.
Yeah,
That's a
and,
really
And
good
if you do the
oh no,
if you do a
so-
red card or whatever, you get another 5% off.
Holy
yeah,
crap,
and
that's
so
a steal.
Target
though.
is like, yeah. So if you do a base series, just X no game, $75 gift card.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some stuff that's like, oh yeah, in the Smash Brothers Ultimate Edition, you can use your Target Red card. 5%
I forgot
off.
about that coming out. That's so
Yeah.
it's so cool, but it's like Switch 2 comes out next year. I don't feel like upgrading my OLED for a design. You know what I mean? For me,
Yeah.
If I was getting a
Yeah.
secondary console, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But my daughter's already got her own too.
Oh, I need to
So-
add Barbie Dreamhouse Adventures on the Switch.
Is that a new Barbie game?
That's apparently it's a new one. Like
Oh, yeah, my daughter might
so
want that.
not just that, the fact that the last one on like Wii U like spiked up in price, like what the heck?
I
Or
just
no, it was
bought
the
her.
it was the 3DS one. That's the one that
Yeah,
everybody-
3DS one because they quit
Yeah,
they
that's-
quit printing it out. It was a short print
Yeah.
game, right?
And it was only in Canada too. It was Canadian print.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I bought my daughter for Christmas. Just bought it yesterday. Everybody wants to Switch. It was $20 at Walmart. They started pre-Black
Oh, wow.
Friday deals, and it's
Ooh.
like a first party game, something she would like. And I was like, yeah, that's a good deal to me. I know like
Yeah.
sure the game that it is or whatever, but $20, it's not that old. I think it's a good deal. So I grabbed her that, and I was looking at potentially grabbing what was it? There's another kids game. Oh, the new Miraculous game. I was looking at that, maybe that, but that one's they dropped it from 40 to 30. I was like, are you kidding me? You dropped the Nintendo
yeah,
first
30's
party?
not a
Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a good price point for that. And I know that's one like she likes the property, but I know it's a bad game because I already looked at the gameplay, so I know she won't play it for a very long time. But the other one is one that we could play together, and those are the type of games I'm looking for her because she is not really a gamer. Her gaming intake is Roblox and sometimes Minecraft. I talked to you about it before, Craig. She really struggles. Like she played Wonder with me, but she can only play it for like an hour, maybe max.
Yeah.
Like she gets bored and or irritated. 2D games are hard for kids these days. Like they don't get it. They don't understand things. Like she really struggles, and I have to really explain how this
Yeah.
works.
So my oldest proud dad moment. She started Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu today. was
Oh,
like,
nice.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And she's like, and so like I'm just kind of helping guide her, but the fact that she
Yeah.
can do most of it by herself. Though we had a sad moment. She accidentally deleted Thunderbolt for double kick, but I was like, it's okay. You can
Mhm.
get it again later.
You can move tutor.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm a big Pokemon sucker for Pokemon, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna
She likes
gonna
the
make
property.
my niece.
Oh, go
What?
ahead. Go ahead. You're fine.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna make my niece and my future kids play through the first few Pokemon, at least Fire Red, and at least Ruby or Sapphire or whatever. I'm gonna let them choose which one, but I'm gonna make them play through it before I get them any more Pokemon. I want them to try. I'm not. I guess can't make them do it, but I'm gonna put it in front of them. I'm gonna present it, and I want to go that route.
Yeah, I got to bounce soon, but Let's Go is a great introductory.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, it's not just throwing mechanics and like you're not overwhelmed with battles like you were in the original games. And that's why I thought I was like, okay, Let's Go is pretty good. So
a lot more accessible for that younger age group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to end off the podcast for tonight, we got one final thing. Chase, do you drink turkey beer for Thanksgiving?
I never have heard of that.
Yeah, me either.
No.
But I thought I'd throw it in there. So we appreciate everybody watching tonight. Thank you all so much. This has been a great episode. And, of course, we'll be back again next Sunday. Hopefully some exciting stuff happens because we're getting all kinds of news this month. And it's been pretty awesome. You guys want to drop any information?
Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, so I've been doing weird reviews come my way, but I mean it's fun because practice doing reviews. So we just reviewed Smurfs Learn and Play. So, but like if you have little kids, it's actually a really cute game. I hate buying or downloading free games on the kids' tablets.
Yeah,
it's like $50 to unlock. It's like $15. You get everything up front. So I was like, okay, that's pretty legit. Got another review coming Monday and Tuesday for 2 different things. So. But yeah, you can find us everything on Out of Control Games. Hopefully, maybe even do a holiday buying guide. I don't know. Depends on how much time I have.
Right on. Chase?
Oh, just check us out, RaleighRetroGamers.com. I'm actually doing a little meet tomorrow, a little video conference, and seeing what big things are in the works for next year. But yeah, RaleighRetroGamers.com. If you guys are in or around North Carolina, we've got a little bit of resources on the website of all, some of our favorite and/or ones that are just known game shops, places to buy retro video games. We work a lot with the local businesses, and I consider all the business owners friends of mine. And drink beers with them, go to video game events with them, go to conventions together. A lot of the big conventions I see them all at. It's a good little thing to be a part of. But yeah, RaleighRetroGamers.com. And just try to bring the community together and play some retro games.
Well, be sure to check those out. Looking forward to your videos, Craig, and of course hearing more about Raleigh Retro Gamers. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you again next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.